French and German manufacturing services and manufacturing PMI data will be the key data for this morning to watch for. Good morning, this is Kym Watson. Welcome to a morning outlook. So, as I said, the markets will be looking ahead this morning at 8:15 through 8:30 for French and German manufacturing PMI data. Now, these numbers we expect to be more positive because they're taken at a point where the countries were coming out of lockdown, so we expect them to be positive. Last time they were in the 50s, which is showing growth. Expectation is that will remain, so we've just got to watch out for those 8:15, 8:30 this morning. So let's have a look at the technicals. By the way, there is no other significant data that runs through. I should say, there is. Beg your pardon. At 9 o'clock, that runs through to the European figure as a whole, and then at 9:30 we've got the UK manufacturing and services PMI, which again could create a bit of volatility around the. So. That side, core retail sales in Canada at 130, and flash manufacturing actually in services in the US actually at 245 as well. So there are actually some other data numbers through the day. So really, it seems like a day we'll be looking at the flashes, right? So what are we getting here then? Let's have a look. Looking at the euro dollar first, and obviously those PMI figures there. There's no options today. Yesterday we had options that were probably causing resistance of any significant moves there. Well, they all expired. Okay, now we've got very little in the way of options this morning on the euro to be worried about. So technically, well, on the dailies there, we ended up come back a step there. We ended up a little hammer. Today, well, difficult to see what it's doing at the moment. It is just that there is just consolidation, maybe selling off here on the hourlies. Just looking, it's put that pivot swing in, actually a bearish pivot swing. So I think we'll be able to have a better chance of looking at things after 8:30 when we've seen the German data as well. Any sort of decent numbers there could see this running flying. Likewise, disappointing data could see us coming back down to double bottoms or even more. At the moment it's looking, as I say, looking quite soft as I'm just leading into 8 o'clock as I speak. So looking at a daily pivot, may be a decent draw just below us. Okay, that's the euro. The pound, remember news 9:30 for the pound then. The pound yesterday ended up pretty much gaining back everything it gave away, and it's this morning it's already pipped back into the shoulder of the previous day there. So the pound looking a tad stronger from that perspective at that time. But look at it now on this 4 hourly, and it's put that sort of shooting star into those highs. It doesn't look quite so good, and it may just again, we've seen this before where the pound it just gets a bit rangy. This could be doing the same. One thing with all of this move here, there's been strength in it by looks of things. The RSI, look at it, it's all sitting there nice and even, strong up there, that end sort of thing, and well, maybe a bit of strength all with that, but we'll see as it's rolling over at this stage whether that's going to continue. But at the moment, we've got the daily pivot untouched below, which could be a draw. Obviously we've got the news at 9:30, could be enough to give it a bit of a kick in one way or the other. Maybe send it spiraling down, or give it the bounce it needs to break through those prior highs. But it's not as clear cut, not a clear cut morning here at the moment. Personally, I think I'll just wait for that news to come out. Dollar yen. Now I did manage to get a short position in this yesterday. It's only just 57 now. It was 93 as I sold. So just it's positive at the moment. I talked about this in yesterday morning's outlook here. Looking to try and get in. I got in later in the day. Not as it immediately broke down, but a bit later. Excuse me. Looking for this to really break those lows at some stage, and the pattern that we're seeing here, looking for it to break those lows and maybe even push further. We could see a more significant break of this actually I was looking at 7.3 on here, 104.73. It may be, yeah, maybe even see this coming down to the 104.50 sort of zone eventually. But that's my target wise. I was just looking at these prior lows, but it could well be a slow one. That is a bit of a swing that's sort of running a very small position just to see how things go. But technically, I still see this as maybe continuing in this route. Now today, well, we have got daily pivot above us, so we could get a blip into that. It could I'll see if that occurs. I will look at maybe even adding to the position on the intraday basis, but leading into a Friday, I might just leave all well alone. Okay, so expecting more downside on that, but I wouldn't be surprised at a retrace. The Aussie dollar. Looking at the Aussie dollar yesterday, that sold off as well, but managed to put in the doji in the end. Closed pretty much where it opened, no great changes. I was looking, I've got trend line across the lows here. I was looking to see if this sort of, for me, is the line in the sand from the current trends that's sort of sitting there, but it is sitting in this sort of channel. If you was to take that, pop it up the top there, it's sitting in a bit of a channel. Question is has it got the legs to push up there? At the moment, looking soft here. As I'm speaking, but if it can, it does look like it's about to roll back a bit more. But if we saw the euro, the pound start flying, we may just see a bit of dollar selling and a continuation for this Aussie. But it's that sort of in between. It can go either way. Maybe a break of that 50 would see the trend line as a target. Or even the weekly pivot, maybe then the trend line as targets. Small movements, really, not really that keen on them, but 25 pips, I guess, if it breaks down there. So just watch it. We'll watch that, but would be liking it better if it just pushes back towards the upper range there as a target, even to the highs there at 72.67. Okay, that's the Aussie. Canadian dollar I shall finish up with here. It's just Canadian dollar continued yesterday. It's the strength in the Canadian dollar. So we've been seeing commodity currencies the couple of days ago, and well, they're not doing too bad, are they? Selling back again. Is to me, with the currencies as in a summary here. Okay, the European currencies, we may have been seeing a bit more profit taking coming through, but these seem to be holding fairly well, and we're seeing really just a continuation of the original move there. So this just looks like it's going to continue rolling down towards the S1, maybe more. Now, of course, the caveat is there's an untouched daily pivot. Any sort of rallies that would become a target, and we do have a bit of data there. Core retail sales at 130. Right, that's pretty much that. S&Ps, it's a quick flick of the S&Ps. So S&P still, well, picked up again yesterday, and again just saw this sort of correction, and I keep on looking, and as I said yesterday, could be just a blip. Well, it was just a blip. It's picked itself back up, heading well back into those historic highs, towards looking to push even further, maybe. But again, bull flag appearing on this 60-minute at the moment, but a daily pivot under below, which could just draw things down there. So it could be a bit more of a drawdown. I expect the European indices are down slightly as I speak. Okay, that's S&P's. Gold, for those gold bugs there. Gold was a bit disappointing. It did catch a bounce in the end there, but it didn't actually, well, it may have just triggered the bearish pivot swing there. I think gold here at the moment, there's this really indecision with gold. It's not really, I mean, the pound's bounced back up and almost made back into highs. The futures have done similar, etc. Gold's really just struggling here a little bit more, and it may be that we see it put in some sort of support around these sort of levels and consolidate further. But at the moment, it does look, to me, just looking at these charts, it looks a bit on the softer side. Nothing really confirmed at this stage, but does look softer. I'm just looking at just sort of bare flaggy sort of picture I'm seeing there. actually it does look sort of a bit of a conflicting, sort of a little bit conflicting. It's around its daily pivot. Maybe if it breaks down below those lows again, we could see it at least run down about $10 or so. But there we are. And lack of decision there, really, in terms of where it's sitting. And as I said, I think it might just end up ranging more. Right, there's nothing else. I wish you a great trading day and a great weekend. I'll be back Monday. Bye for now.